Coming into the 2014 NFL schedule, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers opened their year off against the divisional rivalry against the Carolina Panthers in Raymond James Stadium here in rainy Tampa Bay, Florida, for today's football game against the Buccaneers and Panthers. Joe Webb is your starting quarterback for today's game, as Cam Newton was injured in the preseason. It was undisclosed to the NFL on what he had and would remain out in anonymous time, according to Coach Ron Rivera. So with that in mind, Joe Webb would take the football, but before he would do that, Tampa Bay has their own things to deal with, and that would start with the kickoff. They win the coin toss, and the 2014 NFL Tampa Bay Buccaneers franchise here on Madden 15 is officially underway. Mike Glennon will be your Army captain for this year unless something quirky happens, but remain to him for your starting QB this year. Mike Glennon now first play from scrimmage for the Buccaneers of the game. 15-minute quarters, all pro difficulty. Mike Glennon finds Mike Evans for a 7-yard gain, and that's how the Tampa Bay defense, or offense rather, would start. There's your offensive line, and there's your backs and receivers: Mike Evans, Luke Stalker, Doug Martin, of course, and Vincent Jackson. Your players to watch on this offensive side. On the defense, it would be Gerald McCoy, the captain of the defensive line. 2nd and 3 down, Glennon is going to hit, I believe that is Vincent Jackson for the first time today, for about a 17-yard gain. So now later on in the drive, Tampa Bay drives down. They waste 5 minutes off the clock, and it's going to be a touchdown. Buccaneers fire up the cannon for the first time this year. It is Vincent Jackson. That was his 3rd catch already for his 30th yard reception with a touchdown. A good day already for the Buccaneers wide out. And he would give the Buccaneers a 7-0 lead. So there's Joe Webb getting ready to take the ball for the first time. Remember, he hasn't started since Minnesota days way back when. So now Ted Ginn Jr. on the return, and he's going to take it out to the 25-yard line. That's where Joe Webb's going to take hold of the Panthers for at least week 1, unless Cam Newton is severely injured. So now Joe Webb is going to bring up the Panthers offense. Jason Avant, Jericho Cotchery, Greg Olsen, Mike Tolbert, and Jonathan Williams. It's going to be a triangle formation in the backfield for the first play. And D'Angelo Williams is not going to get anything going good staying by the Tampa Bay defense. There's your Carolina offensive line and backs and receivers. As I said, Jason Avant, Greg Olsen, Jericho Cotchery, and D'Angelo Williams are going to be your players to watch on the Panthers side of the ball today here from Raymond James Stadium. Now 2nd and 10, Olsen goes in motion. It's going to be a run to the left side, and D'Angelo Williams has room, and he's going to bust out a big first down run for the Panthers, and he is very happy. So now the next play after the long run from Williams, it's going to be just him in the backfield, as it's going to be another running play. And he's going to this time get 5 yards on the carry. It looked like a face mask at the end, but the refs did not call it. Now your Tampa Bay defense: Gerald McCoy and William Goldston, your key players to watch here for today's game. They are the captains of defense, and they need to show it if this team wants to get back to their winning ways and the postseason. So D'Angelo Williams, 2nd and 5, takes it up the middle for the 3rd straight rush, and he would get a first down. However, Tampa Bay would come up strong, hold Carolina to a field goal, and Graham Gano powers it through with his leg, and Carolina's on the board 7-3. So now Carolina down 7-3. Mike Glennon and the boys driving back. One drive later, he would get sacked by Alexander. Absolutely no help from the offensive line on that drive anyway. And the Buccaneers would take the first quarter with a grain of salt. However, they do lead 7-3 over the divisional rival Carolina Panthers. So at the end of 1, Tampa Bay 7, Carolina 3. And coming off the 4th down, or 3rd down rather, play off the sack of Alexander, Kai Barth would be called on, Connor Barth, my apologies, would be called on for the field goal, and it would be up and good, wind in our favor at that point. So 10-6 Tampa Bay lead, and a little later in the second quarter, after a Carolina field goal, a second one on the day, Doug Martin would train his way through all the way to about the 37-38 yard line. And that's where Tampa Bay would get things going once again. But, however, after a couple 3-and-out plays, or 3-and-out drives, Tampa Bay would finally get the ball back. And on 3rd and goal from the 3-yard line, Doug Martin would lose a yard here on the inside of the 5-yard line of the Carolina Panthers red zone. And they would be forced to call upon Connor Barth one more time. Puts it through the uprights, 13-6 now, Tampa Bay lead. Connor Barth would be a good fantasy player to own on this day. He would stretch in 5 field goals for at least a minimum of 15 points. And speaking of good fantasy players, another one today was Louis Murphy Jr. The good catch and run that barely got by, I looked like Luke Kuechly's hands, or a safety just came up and bit too sharp right there. And Louis Murphy paid the price, and he ran for another 10. So now coming down to the wire in the end of the first half, 13-6 Tampa. Let's make it 16-6 at halftime. Connor Barth, your 3rd field goal right there. He would finish with 5. And that's what the score would be going into halftime here at rainy Raymond James Stadium in Tampa Bay, Florida. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are up 16-6 over Ron Rivera's Carolina Panthers. For the Panthers, it's basically try and keep up, and for the Buccaneers, it's do what you're doing right now and do it even better than before. There's that Louis Murphy catch that we just talked about. Couple of Joe Webb passes that went for big yards. There's one right there to Mike Tolbert. And now back to Mike Glennon. But the keys for Tampa Bay's success so far, Vincent Jackson, the offensive line holding up the pressure from the defense of the Panthers, and Mike Glennon's ability to drive down the field. So as we enter the 3rd quarter and the second half, let's take a look at some of the stats. Tampa Bay leading in all categories. So now let's get back to the game. 10 minutes left in the 3rd quarter, 5 minutes gone so far, and Joe Webb is gonna get a false start. Carolina already at the 49 of Tampa Bay, but let's drive them 5 yards back to the 46, and now they're gonna have a whale of a time to try and get this. So now Deshaun Wilson trying to pump up Tampa Bay here. They are loud, wet, and they want a win in week 1 of the NFL season. And that's not going to happen right here because Jericho Cotchery, as much as you love him or hate him, he's going to play key for the Panthers on a 3rd down conversion. And it's going to be a 1st down for the Panthers. Little update for Joe Webb. He's completed 9 in a row. Let's end the passing streak with a D'Angelo Williams 1st down run. And now the Panthers are driving down to the 13-yard line of Tampa Bay. Man in motion. And that's gonna be, I believe, Calvin Benjamin. And his name hasn't been called all day. But someone who has been is Jericho Cotchery. And that's another 1st down Panthers. And that's more than a 1st down. That's a 1st and goal from the 2. And on the first play of the 1st and goal, it's gonna be a read option Joe Webb. The Viking can run. Can you believe it? Touchdown, Carolina, and Ron Rivera wants to go for the extra point. Pull them within 3, and it's now a 16-13 ball game. Folks, we have a ball game. Don't go anywhere. It's going to be set up to be good at the end. Minute 45 now left in the 3rd quarter coming down. Winding down the 3rd quarter, Joe Webb's going to run, but he's going to be met by Levante David. 3-yard rush is going to get you nowhere in the NFL unless you're a halfback. But for a quarterback, you don't want to see that. That's more of a RG3 kind of style, not Joe Webb. So Joe Webb learned his mistake and he's going to hand off to D'Angelo Williams for a negative rush of 2 yards. So back him up. And now it's 3rd down and 6 for the Panthers. Gerald McCoy, almost a false start there, but a good sense of security and a good sense of pressure for Levante David one more time. His third tackle and his first sack as they would force the Panthers to punt. But after a couple of 3-and-out drives from Tampa Bay and Carolina combined, we head to the fourth quarter with 11 minutes left, and the little slip screen out to D'Angelo Williams would go for nothing, and the Panthers would be forced to punt again. Later on in the Tampa Bay drive, 3rd and 4. Oh, was he there? Doug Martin was very close, but he's a yard shy. So up 19-13, the Buccaneers will decide to play it safe with still 7 minutes left in the game here. A lot can happen. Connor Barth, that would be his 5th and final field goal. A good fantasy day for him. So now Carolina drive, they've had enough of the field goal game, and they want to end that drought with a touchdown. Well, they're at the 1-yard line of Tampa Bay now. Crowd is getting loud. You got all your big men up front, and on 3rd and goal, it's nearly picked off. The secondary for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers comes up strong, and with only 2.5 minutes to play in the ball game, this is going to be crunch time for the Panthers defensive line and Captain Luke Kuechly. So now Ron Rivera not going to go for a touchdown. Don't know why. Only goes for 3, and it's 22-16. Carolina needs a 3-and-out and a quick 3-and-out by Tampa Bay if they want to have any shot. But on 2nd and 4, that's going to be your ball game. The backup, I can't remember his name, and that is embarrassing. But the backup to Doug Martin is going to get a first down on 2nd and 4. And with only 1 timeout left for the Carolina Panthers, that would end their day here in Raymond James Stadium in rainy Tampa Bay, Florida. They take their final timeout, but all is fair in love and war. And today, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, with just 1 more first down, could end the game. Let's see, Doug Martin, prior in motion, backs him up to the left. And, well, even though he didn't get a first down with Excel clock on, I know it's kind of cheating, but hey, you play 15 minutes. I'm not sure you're going to play every second. So there you go. So as I was saying, even with a first down not even looming, there it is, the first down by Doug Martin. That's going to officially close out your ball game. And the Buccaneers are going to take home a 22-16 victory here in week 1 of the NFL season against their divisional rivals, the Carolina Panthers. So 20 ticks left before the final whistle, and that's going to end it, folks. Your Tampa Bay Buccaneers, after a rocky first half, or actually a excellent first half, are going to come away with a rocky second half to the ball game. But in the end, it's all the same because your Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to end up winning the ball game. So, as Tampa Bay celebrates their first week under new head coach siege, James Mathis, he is officially in the books as a winning coach, at least for 1 week anyway. But they're going to have to continue this kind of performance throughout the whole season if they want to do anything with the playoffs intact. So Mike Glennon, your player of the game, 230 through the air, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. That's the kind of day you want to have. Mathis and Rivera meeting at midfield, congratulating each other. Your never say never moment by GMC Joe Webb, but it wasn't enough as Carolina fell just short and takes an 0-1 record into week 2. So now, that's going to wrap it up, guys. Hope you've enjoyed. Let's go for 5 likes, comment, subscribe. You know the drill. I've been your host, JT Mathis 48. Thank you for watching this edition of Tampa Bay Football here on our channel. Remember to join the community if you haven't. Have a good day, guys. I will see you later.